Daniel had everything. A big house, a fancy car, loads of money. He lived a life that many could only dream of, surrounded by luxury and opulence. He was the guy everyone wanted to be, the apple of his family's eye. Celebrations were frequent, and he was always the center of attention. He worked hard, he was ambitious, and his success seemed rock solid. Late nights at the office and powerful presentations were his norm. But underneath, things weren't so great. Despite the outward success, there was a growing emptiness inside him. Daniel was so busy chasing success, he forgot about being a good person. Calls from friends went unanswered, and he became blind to the struggles of others. His business deals were clever, sometimes even mean. He prided himself on his shrewdness, often at the expense of others. He cared more about money than people, more about getting ahead than caring for others. His priorities were clear, and compassion was not one of them. His life looked amazing, but something important was missing. Real friends. Social events felt hollow, and genuine connections were scarce. He treated people like business deals. His smiles were fake. Every interaction was a transaction, and sincerity was a rare commodity. He was alone at the top, surrounded by stuff, but with no one to share it with. The higher he climbed, the lonelier he felt, realizing too late that his life was built on sand. Daniel's fall was fast and hard. Bad decisions, driven by greed and not caring about others, destroyed everything he'd built. His good name was ruined, his money gone like it never existed.
People who used to sing my praises now wouldn't even look at me. The friends I thought I had disappeared. Alone and full of regret, I had to face what I'd done. My life, built on nothing solid, had fallen apart. I chased success no matter what and ended up with nothing, completely alone. My mistakes felt like a heavy weight, crushing me with shame and regret.
At his lowest point, surrounded by the mess of his old life, Daniel changed. He felt the weight of his past decisions, the mistakes that had led him to this moment of reflection. He started to see the hurt he'd caused, the trust he'd broken, and the relationships that suffered because of his actions. The good things he hadn't done, the opportunities he had missed to make a positive impact weighed heavily on his mind.
I found an old book about Eastern philosophy. It was a chance discovery, but it felt like fate. It talked about karma, compassion, and how we're all connected. The words resonated deeply with me, offering a new perspective on life. I read about how our actions have consequences, how every choice we make sends ripples through the lives of others, how even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. These ideas began to reshape my understanding of what it meant to live a meaningful life. I realized that real happiness wasn't about fancy things or awards, but about living a life that matters, a life filled with purpose and compassion, one that helps others and brings joy to those around us.
He began to see the potential for change, not just in his own life, but in the lives he touched. The ripple effect of our actions, how even the smallest act of kindness can have far-reaching consequences. This wisdom became his guiding light. Daniel embraced this philosophy, determined to make a difference, one small act at a time. With a new purpose, Daniel decided to make up for his mistakes.
I started volunteering at a soup kitchen, helping people and listening to their stories.
He apologized to the people he'd hurt and asked for their forgiveness.
I started a small business, but this time I did things honestly and fairly. I treated my employees and customers with respect.
His life wasn't about money or being important anymore, but about doing good.
He learned that real happiness comes not from what you get, but from what you give.
His life, once empty, was now full of meaning. Eastern philosophy teaches us that our actions are like throwing pebbles into a pond. Each action, no matter how small, creates ripples that extend far beyond what we can see. These ripples can touch lives in ways we might never imagine. Each one makes ripples that spread out, changing not just our lives, but the lives of everyone around us. A smile, a kind word, or a simple act of generosity can set off a chain reaction of positivity. Daniel's story reminds us that we can all make the world a better place. He started with small acts of kindness, and soon others were inspired to do the same. His actions created a wave of goodwill that spread throughout his community. It starts with a simple choice. Be kind, care about others, live with honesty and purpose. When we choose to act with compassion, we encourage others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Think about what you do. Reflect on your actions and their potential impact. Every decision you make has the power to influence the world around you. What kind of ripples are you making? Are they ones of kindness and love, or are they causing harm and discord? It's important to be mindful of the energy we put out into the world. Let's try to make choices that leave the world a kinder, more caring, and more loving place. By being conscious of our actions, we can contribute to a more harmonious and compassionate world. The world needs the good things only you can do. Your unique contributions can make a significant difference. So, let's strive to create ripples of positivity and make the world a better place for everyone. Subscribe for more stories that inspire reflection and transformation. Let's make 2025 a year of intentional action.